And just like that, we are back. Welcome to the show. I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm just Harold. You ever been out somewhere and overheard two people having crazy conversations?
Well, we are those people, and we've been having these conversations since college.
Yep, it's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts podcast, Married at First Sight, Season 15, San Diego, Part 2 of the reunion. And I texted Yanni as soon as this was over. I'm like, I hate you for making me watch this shit.
Okay, I apologize, but it's not my fault. This is probably your third season of Married at First Sight. They've never had a reunion this boring ever before. Let's be honest.
I hope that's the case, because I'm just like, this is painful. They could have had just one reunion and been done. They didn't need to stretch this out in 2 parts. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
That being said, this is going to be a record-breaking, shortest recap that we have done ever. I guarantee. Because, what did we not cover that was here already? We picked up right where we left off from reunion part 1, which should have been halfway through the first reunion. And here we are, reunion 2, Alexis and Two-Stroke Justin. And, the first thing I thought about this was that Alexis had a great point, though. She did say from the beginning she wasn't attracted to Justin. She did say that he was being too sensitive, and yet she stuck around. So do we now give her, extra points, extra kudos? Do you want a cookie? Do we give her that for putting in all that effort with Justin?
I would give her that if her payout for this was the same, whether she went through the whole thing or after the honeymoon, she was just like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah.
Then I would say yes. But I don't know. I'd assume that they have to go to a distance to get to a certain point, right? Right. Do they have to get a certain amount of money if they go the distance?
That's a great question. They'll always say no, but we will tend to believe that yes. And it's the contracts, and we've seen people speak about it and say that they have to go through with it in order to get paid. I'm assuming so, because where's the show if they don't?
Right. Well, yeah, we're sure they don't. They can easily just walk down the aisle, be like, nope.
No.
And turn right around and be gone. Right. So, so no, she doesn't get a pass. But she didn't say anything that we haven't already said and seen. Like, we know she's not into him. They're 2 different personalities. She does need more of an alpha male than what Justin is. And she can't handle people who are super sensitive. But I still believe that Alexis did not go to Justin's house in the middle of the night after leaving a club to try to get some sex. I don't believe it.
The more I saw them speak on it today, I'm like, maybe. No. Here's the thing. She may not have gone for the sex, but no, she said, you make it sound like I came there to get some. Like I came to see you to get some. So she may have gone there.
For what? There's nothing in that one small-ass apartment that he had that she left and forgot. It doesn't matter what it was. It could have been an earring. It could have been a barrette. Whatever. She's not going back to that house.
Maybe she needed some tissue. He had some because he likes to cry so much.
No, she was not going to that house to hook up with him middle of the night, ringing the buzzer, talking about, hey, what you doing? You up? Because even when people, we talked about this last on the regular show, when people go back to somebody to minimize their body count, they just don't pop up at their house and ring the buzzer. You send that text, hey, you. Or a picture, hey, remember when we did this? That was a fun night. Just wanted to say, hey. That's a
there are some crazy people who like to just show up. They were always left on the outside, though.
Okay, I've never had people just randomly show up. So maybe I don't know what I'm doing wrong or right, but never had people just randomly just show up at my door. Hey, I was out drinking with the girls, and remember that time we did some freaky stuff? Let's do it again. Old time's sake. Never had it happen.
They brought out Donnell, Justin's brother, and Amber, Alexis' sister. And one of the things I noticed was Donnell really does not like Alexis. There was a point when she said something, he gave her a look, and I was like, oh, yeah, he don't like her.
Well, he's looking out for his brother, right? So, I think that's what you would do. You protect your family and say, hey, you're going to take your brother's side. And, of course, Alexis is going to take her sister's side. Amber's going to take Alexis' side. But Justin's brother was right from the beginning that Justin wasn't ready for this.
Facts.
And you can say it all nice you want. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He wants to love. Your brother's just a little soft. And it's okay that he's a little soft. He needs a woman who's okay with that squishiness. And that's just not Alexis.
Let's be honest. Amber even took his side at one point when he gave up Maya and was like, hey, now he did give up his dog. And I noticed that she did kind of take Justin's side on that side. But you notice that Donnell was like, yeah, no, he shouldn't have given that dog up. Mm-mm.
Exactly. And I think Amber did recognize that. And I like how she worded it. She goes, hey, it's his baby too.
Right.
That he's given up. Because people who have those fur babies, talk to them on that level, it means a whole lot. So I'm glad that Amber recognized that. But we all do, and we even said this before, that Justin would resent her for giving away his dog. And it comes out that he did resent her because he had to give away Maya.
Yeah.
And we all knew Maya was coming back.
Yeah. We called that too. He apparently he didn't call his friend and say, no, stop at the dog park like you suggested. He actually had to. He's like, you know what? You stay there because we're gonna do a road trip back. We're gonna do this together.
Yeah, he flew to Colorado and road tripped all the way back to San Diego to drive past all the women that want to sleep with him because he's tall.
Imagine all the dog hair that was in that car when they finally got back to San Diego.
There you go. There you go. You probably wouldn't let the dog. You probably wouldn't let the dog put the paws on in the bed because it could have messed up.
Dogs do not belong in the bed. Period.
Still, but I do like that. The other thing that we called out is that Alexis. It's not that she overreacted, and she even said, "Hey, I wasn't mad about the dog thing because that happens to dogs."
Yeah.
She goes, "But I would have treated it differently or approached it differently had I known his dog had attacked 3 other dogs before."
Right. Well, let's be honest. They're both terrible dog parents because they have, from what people have said in the comments before, they did not introduce their dogs properly before. Like, she just let her dog roam around all willy-nilly. And, that's on both of them. I'm sorry. I get what she's saying, and she's right. But at the same time, it's still your fault. If you have never been around that dog that manner, you do not allow your dog to roam around like that. Because that is the bigger dog.
And you have an alpha female dog. And you just can't just let any other dog just walk in the house and think that everything is cool. So they did do it wrong, introducing the dogs. But were you annoyed that Kevin is still trying to push for them to be together? I feel like this whole show, this whole reunion was, how do we get Justin and Alexis back together so Pastor Troy and Dr. Pepper have some better stats and success rates?
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand when he said that, and they agreed to be amicable. Then they said, yeah, we could possibly talk if we get past this. And then he's like, so you're saying there's a chance? No, there's not. We knew that. All of us that watched the show knew there wasn't a chance from day one. Stop acting as if there really is one. I mean, next up they had the girls out there, and it was interesting. Because to me, I guess I realized that, I don't say I guess I realized, but I just don't like Morgan. I mean, because when they're out there and explaining everything, and, they're asking her about Alexis, and they're asking about how did Alexis tell her, and Alexis told her story. I'm still going, yeah, I get Alexis' point of saying this is why I told her, because she asked, and I had the answers. And I want to blame Alexis. But is it really her fault? Or did she do what she was supposed to do and tell her girl what happened? And
well, in that situation, they're all tight because of what they're going through. So that's a different type of bond. And so she thought she was helping. But here's what I picked up on. So Morgan went to Alexis to complain and talk about her relationship with Ben, which she got mad at Ben for doing to Justin.
Wow. You know what? You're right.
Yeah, but she goes to Alexis to talk about their relationship and what she's not happy with. And then Alexis pulled a, Whoopi Goldberg and Ghost. Morgan, you in danger, girl. Here's what's been happening.
Did she go to Alexis because she was tight with Alexis, or did she go to Alexis because she knew Ben would talk to Justin, and she goes, Justin's whooped. Justin's a little pussy whoop. So he's going to talk so I can get all the details I need to know if I go to Alexis.
It's both. But what Alexis said is Morgan came to her and was just talking about her frustrations and the challenges. And she felt she saw her girl hurt. And so Morgan was like, do you know anything? If you know anything, tell me. And so that's when Alexis told her. But again, I think Morgan went and did the same thing Ben did.
Yeah.
To Alexis.
Great point. That is a great point. So all the things that you've been putting on this man about, and you did the exact same thing. Crazy. It's still Justin's fault for putting it on speakerphone. No, we'll get to that when we get to the guys in a second. But, you know, watching the replay of Lindy being mad that Mitch, that Miguel wanted her to act like an adult, just made me just, this is why I call her Looney Lindy. And then she admits that he wasn't trying to change her. I'm like, now I forget that woman's name that said we shouldn't call her Looney. I need you to apologize because, see, we were right all along.
Well, but also I think Lindy was like, God, I really don't want to see this, because she knew how bad she looked on TV. And she was saying that was just a moment that happened after the weekend. I was just frustrated. I felt it was at my breaking point. And she just kind of and threw all that stuff out there. But it still doesn't give her a good look. She still looks a little emotionally unstable at times. I think that's the nice term to call it. But mostly unstable sometimes.
Funniest moment of the show had to be, of the entire reunion, had to be when they showed Nate telling Stasha he was at a 4 out of 10. And Kevin's like, so for the rest of you ladies, well, not you, Kristen. And she's like, oh, you know, I would have been so happy with a 4.
Yes. I'd have been happy with that. Being a 4. No, and you got to word it better the way Nate did. Oh, not 4 out of 10. You know, 40 out of 100. That's good.
Well, 40, to his point, 40 is more than 4.
I'm going to start just using that. So, Terrell, how was dinner? It was a 40 out of 100.
I would say it was a 4 out of 10, but, you know, it's more like a 40 out of 100.
Yeah, 40 out of 100, because that just sounds better.
No, it doesn't. It sounds worse.
It still sounded, it was still funny to me the first time we heard them say that during the show. And then to hear it again today, I'm just like, oh, poor Nate. But did you catch how they were talking to the group about what they thought about Justin? And pretty much all of them are done with Justin. I think everybody hates Justin, as we said last week. But Alexis was saying how, look, I was trying to do this. I want to do these things. But when he would get emotional, it would like turn me off. And so I was like, oh, so Justin's tears dried Alexis up. Yeah. So every time that he cried,
every teardrop just one.
Every teardrop just wiped the moisture just right away.
But I mean, think about it. We made a joke about it at the beginning of the season, and as we rolled through the different weeks, and like every week he's gonna cry. And she said, no, it was every day. She said if it was once a week, it wouldn't be so bad, but it was every day.
Right. It was just a lot of crying for her, and she just can't. She can't deal with all that. And I don't blame her. I get it. You know, I see what Pastor Troy and I'm always do it. I see how Pastor Troy and Dr. Pepper, what they were trying to do, maybe that Justin would be the thing to kind of soften Alexis up, and Alexis be the one to toughen Justin up, and that just blew up.
I'm surprised you don't call it Pastor Troy and root beer instead of Dr. Pepper.
No, I like root beer.
So after the girls were out, they brought the guys out, and of course, they had to discuss the Justin pillow talking with Alexis. And were you surprised that Ben didn't hold his feet to the fire in this session?
No, that's just not who Ben is.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Ben is just a nice dude. That he's not going to do that. Look at how many times he apologized, and even throughout the whole thing, it's my fault. I was wrong. I'm like, Ben, nut the hell up. But at least Justin owned up to it and said that he was wrong. He was like, hey, I should have did that. It wasn't with malicious intent that I had on speakerphone. He was my friend. He looked at me as a big brother. I looked at him as a little brother. So I think that in all friendships, you and I, we've had our dust ups. We started with a dust up, and look where it's led to, 20 plus years of friendship. So I think for Justin and Ben, I think they'll be fine.
I don't think he was malicious in what he was doing when he had him on speakerphone. I just think that he was, like his brother said, he was so ready to fall in love that he was so in love and so infatuated with Alexis. He's like, well, let me show her how much I have nothing to hide and show her how good I am at giving advice and put this, because he just wanted to seem like he was more than what he really was. And it's like those people in the bank on the phone or anywhere, and they're just talking loud, like, and I told so-and-so, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. That does not make you seem more professional, does not make you seem like a boss.
Yeah. Ooh, you're so important. Yeah, we're going to close this deal in the middle of the airport. I'm about to get on the plane, but as soon as we get back, we'll sign the contracts. Yeah, stop trying to make yourself sound like a big deal.
What about Justin's crying?
Well, they asked him about what the group thought about his sensitivity, and he played some clips of Justin crying, and it was just funny to watch. 'Cause I'm like, this dude just cries so much, and it was respectful of Miguel and Mitch to back Justin up, because they both felt like, hey, look, Miguel was like, I've been in some dark places where I like ugly cried. He goes, but it felt good, and I think that's great that Justin does that because it's a good release. And even Mitch was saying, I think more men should be open to crying, and it does help you feel good. He goes, maybe I'd be a lot more open if I could do that. And then Nate's like, I think it's just weird. Yeah, Nate's like, I think it's just weird.
Nate does not like Justin at all. I know somebody was like, oh, Justin would fold up Nate. No, I doubt that very much.
Yeah, I don't think so, because he'd cry as soon as he get punched in the mouth. He would cry. Did you see they asked the group if Ben and Morgan would have hooked up early, could that have helped the relationship? Because they played all these clips of Morgan just talking about how hot Ben is, and Mitch was like, well, it might have helped. It might have helped her get over things faster.
Right.
If they'd have hooked up. But of course, Ben, being the gentleman that he is, he didn't really comment much on that.
Yeah, which was, the gentleman thing to do. And you didn't expect anything different from him, because you didn't expect him to be like, yeah, because if I had put the hammer down, she would have kept all that shit inside.
If she'd have met Big Ben, woo!
Yeah, put some respect on my name.
Yeah.
And it probably wouldn't have helped anyway. The experts, though, just like they weren't very present this entire season. And I've noticed that in more recent seasons, they're not involved as much as they used to be, right? And you notice people commenting about that a lot as the show's gone through the seasons. And we're like, these experts aren't there. But then they get there, and could we have done without them on the reunion as well, too?
We could have, because I don't see the value that they added, coming back on. I was like, okay, let's hear what they're going to talk about. And what I don't like about the experts is they just can't own and say, you know what, we picked bad. And maybe that's what would help other people look at the experts and respect them a bit better. It's always not their fault. It's these people. Y'all quit. You didn't do this. You didn't do that.
I mean, they did quit, though.
Huh?
They did quit, though.
Well, they did, but I mean, it's okay to say, you know what? I see it now. As an expert, the thought we had, it sounded great in our head. But watching it play out on the show, no, y'all don't belong together.
It almost feels like for them, it's like they can't say it's a good idea to divorce, because their whole thing is, we picked you guys, this is why, and they keep sticking with this is exactly why, and this is what you guys should work it out, not realizing that human nature kicks in at some point or another, and no, you can't make it.
Yeah, so I'd like that they brought out Ben and Mitch first, and to really kind of pick their brain. I think Mitch owned up to a lot of his faults, and said that he wouldn't say anything about attraction or even just word vomit, in another relationship. And of course, Ben said sorry way too much. And I love the fact that Pastor Troy kind of jumped in and was like, stop losing your personal confidence.
Yes.
Over this. Like, you got to be able to let that stuff go and give yourself permission to be normal. That's what he told Mitch. Mm-hmm. And then it's okay to not be perfect for Ben. So I thought that was great advice. I'm like, where were y'all at, week 3 of this bullshit?
Because what I needed for them to do, like you said, in week 3, is to step in and say, Morgan, he's apologized. And I know they tried to have a conversation. She's like, I just don't feel it's genuine. Okay, you know what? You're asking too much. Maybe it is. Maybe you do need to walk away. Ben, we apologize for matching you with this ungrateful so-and-so. Now that would have been much better if they'd handled the situation that way. And they probably should have sat down with them in this reunion and said that. Like, look, you have apologized, according to Kevin, 77,001 time, because 77,000 times on camera, one after, and that's when she finally said, oh, well, now I believe you. We apologize for matching you with this ungrateful bastard.
Yeah. Well, and on the flip side of that, when they brought out Morgan and Kristen, we knew what Kristen was going to say, that, I need to speak up more. And she thought the wedding day was great until she watched the deal and heard all the things Mitch said. And so now she's like, God, I really feel stupid. But Morgan still doesn't think that she really did anything wrong.
Of course not.
She decided, I'm trying to work on my, being overly reactive to stuff. But she still doesn't think she did anything wrong. And I'm just like, that's crazy to me.
But is it surprising? No, because she didn't own anything remember, Nate had to call her out like, yo, what about you? What part do you play in this? And he did that in front of everybody, which that's why, I got to respect Nate. And even with him and Justin right now on the 2 parts of this reunion, where he won't ease up, because what else was happening that made him just keep pressing on Justin? I'm sure Justin's probably said some other things. He's like, what? I'm not easing up on this. Nah, you talk too much. You unfollowed everybody. No, I'm gonna put the pressure on you, little crybaby.
Now, what bothered me the most about Dr. Pepper and Pastor Troy and Kevin is they bring Justin and Alexis back out.
Oh, boy.
As if, let's try again to get them back together. Let it be done. Just let it be done. Stevie Wonder can see they don't work. Let it be done and move on. She wanted an alpha male. And Dr. Pepper even said this, is that she felt, when Kevin asked why did it not work, Dr. Pepper said, well, she wants an alpha male, and she would retreat every time that he wasn't.
Right.
And I'm like, there it is.
And they knew this in the beginning, and it's we knew this wasn't going to work. So why they keep trying to push that, I don't get it. It's really kind of frustrating to keep seeing them try to push these two together like they're the ones that were going to supposedly make it. I will say, I'm with you in this one, and the fact that this part 2 of the reunion, not necessary. Because even as they got past the experts and all the couples are back out there again, it felt like the same things coming up all over again. I was just like, I tell you what takes away from the reunions. It's a good thing for them as they're going through it that they all sit down together, right? Because they meet each other. So before, the way this show used to be, the couples would never see each other until the reunion. They wouldn't even meet. Then it got to the point where they would see them, but they would see each other maybe once or twice throughout the process. And then you get to reunion, so they really haven't spent all this time with each other, but they've gradually integrated them into the season together. So they have multiple meetups. They're always talking. They're living in the same complex. So they're always interacting. So by the time it gets to the reunion, they've already covered all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't get the second part of the reunion, because even when they brought the couples out, as you said, there was nothing new. Mm-hmm. They were still trying to ask about Justin and Alexis. Why couldn't they work? But what bothered me the most is that Alexis still will talk about Justin's sex skills or lack thereof, or it was like him. And I'm like, that, and he even said that I told her that this show's, too many people got to watch this. Don't embarrass each other on the show. And she did nothing but embarrass him and emasculate him on national TV.
But to be fair, Kevin also played a part in that because when he tried to bring up the whole thing of who consummated the marriage first, well, Justin said, and I was like, because remember, they had that conversation before on part one of the reunion, but it was just Alexis and Justin out there. Now he wants to do it in front of everybody, and it's almost like you can see Alexis like, are we really covering this again? Like, geez. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he said we did, but to me, it happened later. I'll let him have that one because she was just done. She was as done with it as we are right now.
Yeah.
She was like, look, I'm done talking about this. He didn't do nothing. And penetrate what?
Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't deal with that. I mean, it was just annoying and painful to watch and absorb a lot of that stuff. And I couldn't go on this show. I couldn't go on it because once I like watch it and hear what everyone said about me and then like really catch like she did do that.
Yeah. Because
there's a whole lot we don't see.
Yeah.
But the stuff that is shown, I'd be like, that's why I look so bad. But I mean, imagine if you're a woman and you meet Justin and you saw the show.
Well,
ruined.
At least you won't be expecting, like he said, everybody wants to know what's beneath. They won't be worried about that anymore. At least they love him for him.
Yeah. So,
So as we leave it, there are two couples, Nate and Stasha, Miguel and Lindy, right? Mm-hmm. We get to the where are they now next week. Now we've seen people comment in our videos before and saying that they're not going to be together. Is that your guess that they wouldn't be? Because I know people, find ways to figure out what's happening, but is that your guess that those two still won't be together by the time we get to where are they now?
Nate and Stasia won't be together, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Miguel and Lindy, Miguel's put up with worse. Yeah. So I think that they will still be together. But Nate and Stasia, my gut tells me that they're going to be done.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out exactly why. I just don't know that Miguel can. I wonder how much. It's the reason I almost believe it and say that they'll both be gone. So it'll be 0 of 5 for this season is because Miguel was at a point where he just couldn't stand being around Lindy. So it's just the things she says, like she would breathe and he's like, why are you breathing? And that when you get to that point, it's time to walk away. And I think he probably did. So I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah, when he didn't wash enough dishes or make enough dinners. Whatever. He's not living up to her standard. He put a nail in the wall to hang up a picture and she lost her shit. Yeah. Something's going to happen with that. So,
hey, don't forget, we are back Monday. Love is Blind Season 3 recap number 4 of 4. Like we said, we're going to be wrapping up Love is Blind at the same time we're wrapping up this Married at First Sight. One took us 4 weeks. One took us 1,432 weeks. Then, of course, next Tuesday, we're back with episode 109. Got it right this time. 109, right?
Yes. 109.
And then next Thursday, right back here, same place, same time, same bat channel with the Where Are They Now recap as we put a bow tie on season 15, Married at First Sight, San Diego.
And one more week of this shit. On my birthday, I got to sit and watch this bullshit. So, for the fans, doing it for
Happy
the fans.
Happy birthday to you. You're welcome.
That's all right. It's fine. Payback will come. I just don't know when or how. Payback will come. Maybe we'll have to go skydiving again. And be like, hey, this is for Married at First Sight season 15. Woo! Jump out.
You're gonna have to take that up with my wife, sir.
She can come with us. Let's do threesies.
Yeah, okay. I'd love to hear that conversation.
I'm a good salesperson. I can make it happen. Challenge accepted.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Hey, I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm Just Terrell.
Make sure you follow us at Yanni Rude, at Just Terrell, and at RGRT Pod.
Yeah, send us some of your random thoughts or some of the bullshit you find on the internet. We'll talk about it on the regular show.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.
Told you this was going to be short.